Says Michael Popak, Legal AF. MAGA knows no boundaries. Jeff Clark knows no shame. He was a former lawyer in the Department of Justice. He was acting attorney general for about 30 minutes under Donald Trump and was the main henchman to try to use the Department of Justice to overthrow democracy by sending phony letters to different states in order to stop them from certifying the election for Joe Biden, arguing that there was some sort of fraud that the Department of Justice was investigating when they weren't doing that at all. He's been removed from the superseding indictment, Jeff Clark, as unindicted co-conspirator number 4, and now he's using that fact to try to argue to the D.C., the District of Columbia Disciplinary Committee, that he should not lose his bar license. See, the D.C. Grievance Committee or Disciplinary Committee recommended in August in a 200-page or more recommendation or report, ultimately to the court system there, that Jeff Clark should lose his bar license for what he did inside the White House to try to overthrow democracy, that it violated the rules of professional responsibility and conduct. But Jeff Clark is using the fact that Jack Smith had to remove him from the indictment because of the alt-right MAGA wing of the Supreme Court 6-3 decision in July on immunity that basically said, those allegations about Jeff Clark in the original indictment in the DC election interference case, they got to go. Because that looks like, to us, absolute immunity, core presidential communication between the president as a president, in this case Trump, and somebody in the Department of Justice. Got to go. All right. So Jack Smith smartly went to a grand jury that was already impaneled and said, I need a new superseding indictment, please. And he removed from the superseding indictment references to co-conspirator number 4, Jeff Clark. That doesn't mean Jeff Clark's out of the woods criminally, and it certainly doesn't mean that Jeff Clark is out of the woods for his bar license. Jeff Clark thinks so. He just wrote a new letter, apparently, according to reporting, to the D.C. Grievance Committee and ultimately to the court that supervises people that have bar licenses in the District of Columbia, and said, "Oh ho, here I am. I've been exonerated." They love using that term, exonerated. They to paraphrase Princess Bride, I don't think you know what that word means. Don't think you understand the meaning of that word. You weren't exonerated. There was a tactical decision by Jack Smith to remove you from the indictment criminally. It doesn't mean you're out of the woods for your violation of your oath and your bar duties, your bar and the rules of professional responsibility or conduct at all. Let me put it to you this way, Jeff Clark. Rudy Giuliani lost his bar license in D.C. and in New York, not because he was criminally prosecuted or indicted or convicted, but because separate and apart from that, he has an obligation, short of crimes, to the bar, to the public, to his oath of being a bar member, to being an officer of the court the way I am, to not do bad things and violate the rules of professional conduct and responsibility. That's why Rudy Giuliani lost his bar license. If Jeff Clark thinks that the only way a lawyer loses his bar license is because he commits crimes, I mean, that will lose your bar license. But there are many, many things you can do that are unethical that don't rise the level of a crime. And Jeff Clark doesn't seem to understand that. And so this letter, this missive that he sent in to try to argue, hooray, I've been exonerated. I'm not going to be indicted. First of all, I'm not even sure that's true. There is still a grand jury out there. It has a name. It has a number, 2023-8. It is hearing cases about Jan 6 and crime in there. Could Jack Smith come up with a creative way to go after and indict Jeff Clark and get around the immunity issue? Yes. Why? Because presidential immunity, right there in the name, tells you what it is. It's an immunity enjoyed by somebody who used to be president. It doesn't generally extend to the henchmen that did his bidding, the people that allowed him and implemented his overthrow strategy, right? That's why all the president's men under Nixon, many of them went to jail. Haldeman, Dean, look it up. They could have alleged presidential immunity, but that wouldn't have worked because presidential immunity is unique and bespoke to the person who used to be the president. Now, there's some stray cases here and there that suggest that maybe it has to extend to the other side, almost like a privilege. but I don't think that's the majority view, even on this United States Supreme Court. Although with the MAGA right wing and alt right being pulled by Gorsuch, Alito, and Thomas, we'll see. It's a tug of war for the soul of that court that we're continuing to follow. But for Jeff Clark to have the brass ones, to have the cajones, to tell the DC bar back off because I just got dropped from the superseding indictment, it just shows you how shameless they are. This episode of Legal AF is brought to you by Manakura Honey, also known as the honey with superpowers. Let me share something sweet with you. And I mean really sweet. It's something that's become a staple in my routine, and I think you're gonna love it. I'm talking about Manakura Honey. When I say honey, you might be picturing those bear-shaped bottles at the supermarket. But that's not what this is. Manakura Honey is single origin, rich, creamy, and the most delicious honey you've ever had. It's supercharged with unique antioxidants and prebiotics and has 3 times more than your average honey. Manakura Honey supports immunity, aids digestion, boosts energy, and helps balance inflammation. It's a game changer, and all you need is 1 to 3 teaspoons a day. On top of that, Manakura Honey has a natural antibacterial compound called MGO, only found in Manuka honey. So if you're looking for something simple and delicious to add to your wellness routine, we found your new healthy habit. Now it's easier than ever to try Manakura Honey with the starter kit. Just head to manakura.com/legalaf to get $25 off. The starter kit comes with an MGO 850 plus Manuka honey, 5 honey travel sticks, a wooden spoon, plus a guidebook. Now, I love the jar and squeeze bottle, but the extra pack of compostable honey sticks is perfect for whenever you're on the go. You can bring them with you when you're traveling or need a quick snack running errands. And they are the perfect energy boost if you're out for a run or at the gym. That's manukora.com/legalaf to get $25 off your starter kit. This is the ultimate honey indulge. And try some honey with superpowers from Manakura. Manakura is incredible, and I'm so thankful they're a partner of the show. I look forward to Manakura every morning. Make sure you click the link in our description or head to manakura.com/legalaf and try some today. And to go after Jack Smith, here's Jeff Clark. By the way, just so you know, the guy, I may not have liked it, but even the Jan 6 committee recognized, and the Supreme Court recognized, that he was the acting attorney general for about 20 minutes. Jumping up from like 6 rungs down, he headed the environmental civil division. You had an environmental issue? Jeff Clark was your guy. Justice, constitutional analysis, head of the Department of Justice, probably not the right person. But in any event, he's already lashed out at Jack Smith in his social media posting. He said in a lengthy post on Twitter, the whole device of setting up a dedicated prosecutor and making them go after singular targets is unconstitutional. Again, challenging like Aileen Cannon, who is the only person in the history of the federal judiciary and federal practice to ever find that a special prosecutor or independent counsel is illegitimate, other than Clarence Thomas in a dissent. Now, Jeff Clark, of course, this is the MAGA talking points, right? Special counsels shouldn't exist. I didn't hear any complaints from Jeff Clark when Robert Hur, the special counsel appointed by Merrick Garland to go after Joe Biden for classified documents, issued his 300-page report that wasn't that flattering on Joe Biden. Where was he for that? I didn't hear Jeff Clark complain when Ken Starr went after in the Whitewater investigation, and Monica Lewinsky went after the Clintons. Where was he on that? I don't hear him complaining about the special counsel that's going after Hunter Biden. Oh, but if a special, so to take him to his logical conclusion, right now the special counsel going after Hunter Biden should be dismissed because it's a dedicated prosecutor going after a singular target and it's unconstitutional. No judge, not the Supreme Court believes that. Just to show you where Clark's head is at, right, in all of this. He also said he has to, everybody on the MAGA side has to bring up Butler, Pennsylvania. Whatever happened to Donald Trump there with people were shot in Butler, Pennsylvania and died. It just wasn't Donald Trump, I don't think. I mean, I know people that had bad ear piercings that had more aftercare than whatever happened to Donald Trump. But they love that photo and the fight. And here's what Jeff Clark said, just so you know where his head's at. In a saner age, attacking Jack Smith, he said after the failed assassination attempt on Trump, an ordinary prosecutor thinking about the national interest might say to him or herself, let me drop this hyper-political case and help the nation heal. Such a targeted counsel is incentivized by the very design of his office to keep going after the target until the target or the prosecutor is no more. Again, I didn't hear Jeff Clark complain about the special prosecutor, John Durham, who was appointed by Bill Barr to go look at whether the Justice Department had been weaponized or not during the Mueller investigation or otherwise. I didn't hear him complain about the Mueller investigation. They must think that we don't have access to the internet, to prior social media posts, to video or audio, right? This is some sort of apocalyptic movie where all history has been destroyed and we don't have access to it. We have the receipts, Jeff Clark. So here's what I think is going to happen. The DC bar, consistent with its precedent of disbarring Rudy Giuliani, is going to tell Jeff Clark to go pound sand. That the fact that he's no longer indicted at the present does not change the analysis of whether he violated the bar rules of his particular jurisdiction. Ethical violations are not the same thing as crimes. I mean, every crime will get you disbarred or suspended, yes, but not every ethical violation that will also get you reprimanded, suspended, or censured is a crime. And that fundamental misapprehension of the ethics law is at the heart of everything Jeff Clark is doing. We'll continue to follow what happens next for Jeff Clark as he fights to keep his law license, probably unsuccessfully, right here on the MeidasTouch Network and on Legal AF. See that? It's a show we do on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We curate the top 3 or 4 stories at the intersection of law and politics. We bring it to you right here, unfiltered, unhinged, unplugged, on everything, no censorship. And we're building this network with your help. Congratulations to all of you for helping MeidasTouch get to 3 million free subscribers well before our target date of the election day. It shows you how important people think the network is and their involvement with the network. And we thank you from the bottom of our heart. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popak reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know, and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.